my friends, and today we have some good news from the Ukrainian forces. Let's start with the Zaporizhzhia direction. Here, despite all the difficulties, the Ukrainian forces are making progress. The command has decided to expand the territory by advancing on the flanks, and as a result, offensive operations are underway in the Kopani area. According to yesterday's official statement, there seems to be some success. However, none of the maps show exactly where the Ukrainian forces have advanced, so we are waiting for new official announcements. It is tentatively known that there have been advances to the north of Kopani across the fields, likely totaling around 2 kilometers. Additionally, there are ongoing offensive actions in the direction of Novoprokopivka. Here, too, there are reports of success, but the front line remains unchanged. Combat continues. The occupiers are not ceasing their fortifying their new positions, so the situation is not getting any easier, especially considering the continuous deployment of equipment through the land corridor. The occupiers hope to hold their defense until autumn, free the front line during the winter, and accumulate new reserves while building more defensive lines by spring. In the Vuhledar direction, the activity also continues. The occupiers are still attempting to advance, but there have been no successes and the front line remains unchanged. In the Kherson direction, shelling continues, but the number of incidents has slightly decreased today. Along the front line, there is no signs of movement, there are still no changes. Meanwhile, in Crimea, efforts to clear the territory from occupiers are ongoing. Closer to yesterday evening, explosions were reported in Dzhankoy. According to preliminary information, there was a strike on the railway station in Dzhankoy. However, as usual, the Russians claim that despite the unsuccessful attempt to down the projectile, there was no damage.
While the world's attention has shifted to the Middle East, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues. A couple of hours ago, the armed forces of Ukraine tried to strike at the railway station in Dzhankoy in the north of Crimea. It was not possible to shoot down the projectile, but there is no damage to the infrastructure due to the enemy's miss. An unidentified target fell into the ground 50 meters from the railway line. According to data from the field, the HIMARS-MLRS could have been used for the strike. Judging by the size of the crater, this is possible, but the Russian Defense Ministry is talking about the S-200. However, the attack itself with a single projectile or missile is alarming. It's more like probing the defenses on the peninsula before a more powerful attack. Moreover, yesterday there was something similar. When the MUGIN-5 was shot down over the Sevastopol Bay, it should not be forgotten that today is the birthday of Russian President Vladimir Putin, October 7th, and last year Ukrainian formations attacked the Crimean bridge on the morning of October 8th.
Overall, we are waiting for official statements if they come, of course. In the Bakhmut direction, fierce battles continue. The occupiers don't cease to bring in new reserves and continue their advances, preventing the Ukrainian forces from encircling Bakhmut. Although the distance to Opetne, which is the key village for the encirclement of Bakhmut, is only 2 kilometers and 800 meters. In the conditions of today's war, this is an incredibly large frontline segment. It may take months to advance through it. The Ukrainian forces report that many are geared for a quick victory, but unfortunately it won't be that simple.
I will say this, in the rear, the people really live a little life, that tomorrow there will be victory. No, not tomorrow, and not in 2024, let's be honest. But those who have at least been to zero as non-tourists have the right to talk about it. And our friends, in-laws, godfathers, and propagandists speak for us.
Overall, the situation is quite complex. The Ukrainian forces are facing daily battles and shelling, so it's essential not to forget to support our soldiers. In the Avdiivka direction, the Ukrainian forces are repelling all Russian attacks with no advancement along the front line. The occupiers are suffering losses but not achieving their goals. Further south, in Mariinka, battles are ongoing. There are ongoing attempts to break through on the outskirts of Novomykhailivka, but there have been no successes, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Siversk direction, the occupiers continue their shelling with no reported attacks or changes along the front line. Near Kremenna, the occupiers persist in their attacks on the outskirts of Makiivka, and battles have been ongoing for nearly a week. Importantly, they have been unable to make significant advancements even to reach the village. This indicates that the Ukrainian forces are successfully holding their defensive positions. So far, the occupiers haven't introduced their main reserves, but are utilizing both assault brigades and providing support with tanks and artillery, yet without much success. In the Svatove area, there is once again a calm. With no reports of shelling or attacks, we will have to wait and see if the Russians attempt any further advances in this area. In the Kupiansk direction, shelling is also reported, and experts believe that this is likely where the Russians will attempt their main offensive, as there is a noticeable build-up of troops closer to the front line. Therefore, we await further developments in this area. Meanwhile, in the Israel direction, Hamas resumed launching rockets at Israel in the evening. Today, it's known that during the initial stage of the attack, the attackers achieved an element of surprise. In the course of the fighting, Hamas managed to penetrate territory beyond the Gaza Strip, spanning 30 kilometers in width and up to 15 kilometers in depth. It must be acknowledged that the Iron Dome was overwhelmed by the sheer quantity of missiles and couldn't cope with their numbers. Consequently, the shelling has had an impact resulting in the destruction of many targets. However, today mobilization is in full swing and units have been created to conduct territory clearance. Yesterday evening, it was reported that a base near Raim was completely cleared from Palestinian militants. During the day, the Israeli army announced that Hamas effectively controls populated areas located near the Gaza Strip. Nevertheless, Israel carried out airstrikes during the day with dozens of fighter jets and other aircraft targeting 17 military facilities and 4 Hamas operational headquarters throughout the Gaza Strip. Further north, intense battles are ongoing in the areas of populated settlements captured by Hamas. Israel is attempting to deploy more reserves there to clear the territory. Additionally, there is video footage showing a rocket hitting the Palestine Tower building during a live broadcast by an Al Jazeera journalist from the Gaza Strip. The Israel Defense Forces reported an attack on 2 high-rise buildings that Hamas militants used for conducting terrorist operations.
Also, the Hamas forces are believed to have brought multiple Israeli captives back into Gaza. Do you know anything about that? What can you report at this stage? All right. Yumna, please take cover. If you are in a position to do so safely, you can explain to us what we're happening. If you are not in a position to do so safely, then please get to safety.
No, it's okay. This is a missile attack on Palestine Tower, right in the middle of Gaza City.
Yumna, take a moment to breathe. Take a moment, you and your team. Take a moment to breathe, okay? Just take a moment as we are looking at this picture. We are hours into this war between Gaza and Israel, and we have just witnessed live what an Israeli air raid looks like on a populated area of Gaza City. What we believe is a residential building. What you're looking at right now is a live shot of Gaza City. And after Hamas launched an attack in and around the Israeli territory around the Gaza Strip, well, Israel retaliated by bombarding multiple targets in Gaza. For those of you who've been watching us the last few minutes, we're all a little bit shaken by what we've just seen, which was an air raid on a building just behind our correspondent Yumna Asayed as she was reporting. Now we're getting our team to safety.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.